Hey there, we're all set to hard launch our series of explanations on the second installment of Chaos Theory, the Netflix original that picks up from the events of Camp Cretaceous after 6 long years. For many of us, fanatics and sci-fi geeks, the enchanting world of Jurassic Park is our hallowed ground. The incubator chambers and DNA modifications are our pixie dust, and the Jurassic World Chaos Theory so far has been an absolute delight. It's like a classic Sunday roast. It's messy, it has a lot going on, but above all, it is a gig we are familiar with, a warm embrace that tucks us into bed, lulling us into sleep while slumbering the iconic roars and snarls of the Tyrannosaurus Rex and Baryonyx. However, that's not what we want to talk about. The fangirling can wait as we delve into the fits of the genetic abomination created by Dr. Sarr. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. How the Leucistic Baryonyx was genetically engineered. The Jurassic World Chaos Theory follows the Nublar 6, those who lived on Isla Nublar, after the cataclysmic events in the Jurassic World saga. They are back now as adults in the Chaos Theory to uncover unnerving conspiracies and illicit experimentations, amidst which they encounter the Leucistic Baryonyx created by Dr. Sarr through genetic modifications in the covert research facilities of Soyona Santos, also known as the Broker in Senegal. Its modification renders it blind as a consequence of the alterations made in the gene procured from a Baryonyx. Despite having made an appearance for a limited screen time, the creature was an absolute menace, behooving us to stay glued through some of the most intense moments of the season. Part of the reason why the Leucistic Baryonyx is so dreadfully fascinating is its genetic condition that allows it to have enhanced locomotor functions in response to stimuli through acute hearing and smell. While it is still a work in progress, as the show suggests, a species of genetically modified Baryonyxes, if reared and nurtured, can prove to be a bioweapon for the military that Soyona can barter at hefty terms with the highest bidder. Dr. Sarr's Baryonyx shows promise and deft predatory instincts. While it may not match in feats of ferocity, as some of the apex prowlers we have been introduced to previously from the Jurassic franchise, such as the Tyrannosaurus Rex or Gigantosaurus, Sarr's Baryonyx is still a force to be reckoned with, more so because of the fact that it is usually sensitive to its environs and can adapt well through echolocation to navigate in complete darkness. Imagine an apex predator governed and controlled by a disenfranchised mob of rebels or military factions to countermand and dispose of enemies under the cover of darkness, in guerrilla warfare or sting operations to dispose of enemies. That is precisely what Soyona's vision has been all along. In fact, her most iconic lines reverberate her ambitions of nurturing a genetically advanced race of dinosaurs when she says in Jurassic World Dominion, "Those idiots making hybrids had it all wrong. You can't engineer loyalty, you have to nurture it." At the end of Season 2, this is exactly what she longs to devise by scheming with Biosyn to strike a deal with the military and possibly develop hordes of predatory dinosaurs running amok, scrounging in the midst of battles and warfare. Why is the Leucistic Baryonyx blind? This dinosaur was deliberately designed without eyes to make it blind. The lack of sight significantly boosts its other senses like smell and hearing, making it a dangerous predator even in complete darkness. As a species derived from the Baryonyx, any resemblance exhibited by the Leucistic Baryonyx to its counterpart is justably lucid. Leucistic refers to a discoloration or a loss of pigmentation, which probably explains the ashen hues on its skin. This can be attributed to the genetic modification that Sarr carried out to fulfill his vision of creating a clone that, as he deems appropriate, would serve and respond as a tamed beast, a weapon to which only he holds the trigger. Imagine the horror. The Chaos Theory surely takes it up a notch, rattling you to the core when Sarr unveils his creation in episode 8 of the show. Owing to the lack of vision, the Leucistic Baryonyx is completely reliant on its olfactory and auditory nerves. As a result, it becomes a vicious scourge, the perfect hunter that once loose will indiscriminately pounce and gnaw at anything that encroaches on its radar or that its echolocation picks up. As shown in the series, the creature can only be communicated with through a series of clicks made by the tongue, snapping of fingers, or whistles made at a specific frequency to incite the psychosonar cognition, directing it toward a localized or specific target or prey. We don't know much about the creature's habitat or behavioral tendencies, except that it has an insatiable appetite for primates as attested by Dr. Sarr himself, who gloatingly displays a diabolical grin at the success of his experiment. If we consider the genetic component of Baryonyx, we can certainly surmise that it can wade across water and land, suggesting that it will have no difficulty hunting down its prey across both terrains. With a snout that is a near-perfect caricature of crocodiles, it is assured to exhibit some amphibious proclivities. Not to mention, the claws can always come in clutch to claim the prize, even if the snout fails. This is what makes the Leucistic Baryonyx a formidable asset for anyone who has the means or the expertise to assert control over the creature's will. Needless to say, should another apex predator assert its dominance, you can either have a contingency in place, or you will have no choice but to find your repose in God while holding on to dear life and running for cover. Nonetheless, fear lurks at large and concerns accrue in the presence of the Leucistic Baryonyx, as is often the case with genetic experimentation akin to the ones we have encountered in the past with Indominous Rex, the demonic hybrid that nearly ransacked everything, causing Jurassic World to cease operations and conclude permanently after the horrors that ensued. Leucistic Baryonyx vs Indominous Rex, a comparison. While both of them are genetically engineered dinos, it is important to bear in mind that the Indominous Rex was a hybrid of several species with T-Rex as its base genome. In contrast, the Leucistic Baryonyx is a bio-enhanced clone created not for the sake of amusement, but to serve the needs of enabling and weaponizing a species to negotiate peace and war, reshaping the dynamic by tipping the scales of geopolitics and diplomacy in the future, which is probably the direction the series is aiming towards. We have seen in the past how sagacious and astute the Indominous Rex can be in combat tactics and anticipation. The Indominous Rex's savagery is beyond comprehension. Not only can it hunt without qualms, but it won't budge or comply with anyone or any being as part of its nature. From infancy, it has been predating and can by no means be commandeered to serve ambition. It's a rogue assailant that shouldn't even exist to begin with, which is probably the metaphor that it stands for. To make matters worse, it is also quite incredibly large, and what's disconcerting is that the one we see on screen was not even a full-grown adult. Imagine the mayhem a full-grown Indominous Rex will cause. Basically, what we are dealing with here is remarkably similar in stature to Godzilla in terms of the scales of events that it partakes in. Everything about the creature is grand. The Indominous Rex is the perfect recipe to invoke an apocalypse that taps into our primal instincts that brought us together in the first place to live as one. We don't understand it along the same lines as we don't understand the Lovecraftian ethos of a world crumbling before a force blurring our understanding of nature. The Leucistic Baryonyx, on the other hand, a mere beastlet in comparison, is still a far cry from the Indominous Rex's antics and carnage. However, the Leucistic Baryonyx is still a force to be reckoned with. It may not boast a towering frame like the T-Rex or the Indominous Rex, but it makes up for its inadequacies in ferocity and flexibility across multiple terrains, which makes it a more reliable choice to be fostered for military operations. Moreover, a smaller structure allows the Leucistic Baryonyx to be a more efficient and economical choice for hunting and sting or covert operations involving discrete locations and structures or hideouts. Furthermore, unlike the common Baryonyx, the Leucistic Baryonyx exhibits an affinity for primates to hunt and prey upon, which can be attributed to Sarr's deranged fantasy of creating the ultimate bioweapon under the employment of Santos. He specifically bred and raised it on a diet of humans whom he had lowered into a cage, waiting for the dinosaur to await its next meal. In case you are wondering what the likely outcome would be if the two dinosaurs ever faced in a brawl, the Indominous Rex would surely have the upper hand. The Indominous Rex is a gigantic monolith that stalks its prey through thermal imaging by detecting heat signatures and weights, only engaging when the prey is at its most vulnerable, whereas the Leucistic Baryonyx engages whatever it can pick up on through echolocation. Moreover, the Indominous Rex is highly intelligent and can camouflage its presence by leveraging the environment to ensnare its prey before dispatching them. We are talking about the dinosaur who ate her sibling, demolished a herd of sauropods. The creature cannot be contained. She literally outwitted some of the most sophisticated scientists and trained personnel to escape confinement. Indominous Rex definitely ranks up high amongst the most elite breeds of dinos the Jurassic World franchise has produced so far. If we were to compare their intellect, there is a possibility that the Leucistic Baryonyx might be outmaneuvered and subsequently acquiesce to the Indominous Rex's command as the alpha, the superior of the two, without so much as a thump or a slash. Considering the Indominous Rex's history, albeit speculative, this possibility cannot be entirely flouted or dismissed. Future implications. Are weaponized dinosaurs the next step? The creation of the Leucistic Baryonyx is the Pandora's box that we are all raving about. We are on the cusp of a canonical shift that will befall the world of Jurassic World and steer us towards an age of apocalypse and retribution, as humans once again wayfare into their doom by playing gods against nature. The series has already teased that the dinosaurs are being engineered and spawn nearly everywhere across the world, as indicated by the Dino Locator. With Soyona Santos' vision of rearing and sculpting genetically regulated bioweapons now closer than ever before, Dr. Sarr almost manifested her ambitions in Senegal. Now Soyona has the formulas and the eggs that she wishes to parlay with Biosyn to erect hordes of dinosaurs meant specifically for combat. Anticipations run high. For what it's worth, we are certainly looking at dinosaurs being trained in combat for the military. This would certainly revamp the franchise and refresh the show from what started as an amusement park gone wrong to a Mesozoic incursion that humans will come to regret sorely, as they always have when corporations squeeze out more than they should have in the first place by prioritizing enterprise over bioethics and harmony. The fate of the world now lies with Nublar 6 and Soyona. Revelations await as the show nears its crescendo. Marvelous verdict. The second season of Chaos Theory has it all. Heroics and fortitude in the face of evil, as conspiracies and shocking revelations portend the coming of a new era for the residents of the Earth. However, amidst everything, there is a creature that surfaced as the show's latest attraction, the Leucistic Baryonyx. The genetically modified species derived from the Baryonyx is the first of its kind. Never have we seen before on screen in Jurassic World a disabled dinosaur that was nurtured to kill and prey on humans. The fate of the creature remains uncertain as Soyona incinerates the facility before disbanding. However, she has the Doctor's formula, which means we may see more of the beast in the episodes to come. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.